Hi patrons, today's video is about making those all-important garnishes to your Christmas table. Now, I realise there might be fewer people there this year than really planned, but with these rather snazzy little place cards, whoever is there will feel super special. And let's face it, they look like as good as a restaurant. So let's talk about how we can make this with a very few ingredients. In fact, what we're going to do is use leftovers before Christmas with these, okay? All this is made out of is a sheet of card. In fact, it's watercolour paper, which has been made from offcuts. Offcuts that I've made from making artwork for people. I always generate these random shapes, long thin bits, and I keep them in a drawer, a bit like my dad does with the garage. He keeps those nuts and bolts. You never know when they'll be handy, but it couldn't be more true. I want to make some place cards this season, and I'm just going to use a piece of offcut. Now, believe it or not, these here aren't too narrow. They're just right. All we need to do is, and the reason I'm making these today is I don't want you to feel like this is such a scientific task. And in doing this, you've got to measure them and they've all got to be the same. Rubbish. Some people have the most wonderful tables where they've got mismatched cutlery or mismatched plates and crockery. It's brilliant. Why do they have to all be exactly the same size? So all we need to do is figure out roughly how wide they need to be. I would say about 8 centimetres, 10 centimetres is a bit big. 7 or 8 centimetres in width is pretty good. And whenever you're making something like this, I tend to use a little ruler and I'll make a mark there, top, bottom, and then I'll join it. Because even though you think sometimes you've got it straight, you might not. And then I'll cut as much as I can in one go because I don't want to hack at it, all right? And then the most important thing is being able to fold it. Have you ever tried to fold something and it's gone a bit like wobbly? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to score it. I'm not sure how wide that is. It's 5.5, so 2.75. There's my mass. I'm just going to do a mark there. 2.75 there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, without drawing a line, I'm going to get my scissors, turn them that way so I've got the end of the scissors here, and use the wrong size of the side of the ruler because I don't want to affect the measuring side. Hold it down firmly like that and just gently, so I know I've cut into the top of it. Let's have a look and see how that looks. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that with the light. You can see a very thin line, okay? And now all I'm going to do is just test fold that. Oh, look how easy that folds now. Okay, but before I fold it completely, I'm going to do the calligraphy, because you don't want to be doing something while it's folded like that, because it'll keep going up and down. So let's pick a name. Oh, very importantly, let's get a bit of scrap paper first because I want to test our pen. Get your calligraphy pen out. I would use a really fine nib for these because they are small. You don't want to be using a thick nibbed calligraphy pen because you'll have to make your words bigger. And if you haven't got the size of tag to make the words bigger, then you'll just get lots of blobs and you'll be trying to make a thin line that you can't make. So try and use as thin nib as possible on this one. If you haven't got one that's thin enough, get in touch because I do have them in all sizes and they can be posted out to you. So just to test out the name we're going to do now, you know what the width is going to be of the tag. Let's move that out of the way because we've dealt with that. You know that your tag is here like this and you've got your scrap piece of paper. So you know what the width of it is. So I would recommend to you writing the name of the person that you're going to write on the scrap bit of paper with the width in mind. And I'm also going to invite you to turn the swirls into holly, okay? It's a very simple idea. Don't overthink these things. So what name can we put on here today? Let's put Simon, okay? I don't actually know anybody called Simon who's come in to have dinner with me, but he's the last person who sent me an email. So that's why I've come up with that. So what I'll do is I'll practice to put a little swirl in there, and I'll remember the calligraphy where I go up, down, and then the next letter down, and then the next letter up, and then the next letter down. You might recall I spoke about this sort of approach before, which means that you're not trying to do it all on the level. You're not trying to make it all lined up like an original church calligrapher. You're deliberately going up, down, up, down, up, down. And then no one can find fault in what you're doing because it's already not straight. Okay, so that's definitely going to fit in that width. You can see that, and it's going to give me enough room to do a little holly leaf at the end. I also haven't put the dot because I want to make that into a holly as well. So now I'm going to take my card. Remember, it's not that bit that you do, it's that bit, because when you fold it, you need it to be up the right way. You could do place cards that are like that, and they sit like that, leaning back, let's show you, like that, and have the person's name on it. But depending on the type of card you have, they might end up folding forward, and they're not as effective. So let's fold it flat, and remember we want to do it here. If you get any smudges on the card or anything like that, just go for the cleaner one. Oh, look, it looks like I've just got a little bit of ink on there. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it around like that. And I'm actually going to have it just where my rough practice was, so I know where to start and how big the letters are, okay, so keep it in mind, because it's mindful calligraphy, of course. So I'm not doing it in pencil first, no way, because these are just a name at a time. I just don't feel like you need to practice it that much and like map it out. It's just, and you see the pencil lines, you know, so that was pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm going to cap up my pen and get my fine liner out because I want to just tidy up a couple of lines there, because I did have a couple of jitters because I was yakking away to you. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to draw a little bit of a holly leaf. There you go. And a couple of berries, and I'm going to do the same on the other end. Normally try and do 3 because it's good to have an odd number, and then I'm going to do that and put 1 berry there. Okay, and then I've got these rather nice little fine liner colouring pens that I got, believe it or not, from Wilko's, and they're all different colours, you can see from the end, and I've particularly picked out a couple here that are red and green. Love these, look how fine they are on the end. You can use felt tips, but you might go over the edge. So let's just go around here. I'm going to do this and leave a white highlights on the berries, you see? So I'm just basically going around in a circle and leaving a little circle. I always work from left to right, white, so they don't smudge. And I always do the one colour first, cap it up, and then do the next colour. You can do it where you do the berries and the leaf, and then the berries and the leaf, and then the berries and the leaf. But I don't know why. Careful you don't smudge this bit here, so be mindful of that. I'm going to leave a white highlight as well in this leaf here. Okay, so leave a white highlight in the middle, and then the same thing here. Yeah, I don't know why I do the same colour along. I guess it's from my painting techniques. When I'm painting animals and stuff, I do this one colour wash, and then clean my brush, go on to another colour and layer it. Wow, look at that. I've just highlighted a bit where I think it was a bit jittery here. I'm just going to smooth it off a bit. Oh, always hold your tag down. It moved then. Wow, that is awesome. I'll tell you what will work really well on there. Oh, just leant away to get it. A nice little gem. How nice would that look? Let's add a little gem to that. Of course, if you've got little red gems, you could add them. And that would work as well for the holly berries. Right, just a couple, maybe 3. And then when you fold it, be careful when you fold it not to go like that, because you'll smudge everything that you just did, okay? But just press it gently, check you're happy with it. Wow, that's so cool. And then what I did earlier when I was making this ready for the video is I wrote the name of a movie inside, because I figured that if we were having the names around the Christmas table, it'd be really cool to do charades or something and like, or make us guess the name of the movie that you got on your card. Obviously, I've made them all, so I would not really be able to play, but they could play it while they were waiting for me to serve up dinner, perhaps. Okay, so that's how you do it. You've got a really nice tag there. I'm not sure what movie to write in there yet, so I'm going to leave it blank. Maybe you want to put a comment on the comments and tell me what movie name you want to see on there. But I'm sure you'll agree, if you turned up to Christmas dinner and someone had taken the trouble to put your name on the table where their plate was going to be, how beautiful is that? And how thoughtful. And then they can keep it and take it home with them. If you want to as well, you can put your initials on the back. Who knows? Might be worth something one day. Hey! Anyway, crack on with your Christmas preparations, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.